What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we got the Turvold guaranteed legendary event starting right now. Actually started just a few hours ago. It's going on for 5 days. I am going to be pulling, but I'll explain that maybe in a different video if you guys want to understand why I'm pulling. But we have Necrid and Hegemon in the 10x starting Sunday. So if you want me to pull your shards, I will be streaming Sunday. I'll probably pull mine before the stream, but if you guys want me to pull yours, definitely let me know. I would love to pull everybody a Hegemon, assuming I get my own, right? But today, what I want to do is I want to compare Turvold to Faceless. Now, the reason why I'm comparing those, I'll get into it in just a little bit, but let's talk about Turvold's kit first off, okay? So his A1 ability, attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 55% chance, books up to a 75% chance of placing a weaken debuff for 2 turns. It's a strong version of weaken. This is a very good debuff for clan boss. Honestly, Turvold, for me, was my clan boss heavy hitter for a long time. He is so good on a lot of clan boss teams. Today's comparison, though, with Faceless isn't going to be clan boss related. I'm going to get into that in just a minute, but let's move on to his A2 ability. His A2 places a 50%. We'll go to the ascended version, not the extended version. We'll go to the ascended version because if you're going to use him, you better ascend him. But places a 50% increased attack buff, a 30% increased crit rate buff, a 30% increased speed buff on this champion for 2 turns, grants an extra turn. Very good ability. He scales on his A3 ability with more buffs. So having those 3 buffs placed from that A2 is very, very nice. His A3 ability hits like an absolute truck. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Damage increases according to the number of buffs on this champion. If the target is killed, resets the cooldown of the skill. So basically, he can use the A3. He's going to kill somebody most of the time if you build him correctly. And then he's going to reset the ability cooldown. And then he can do it again next turn. So this is a very, very hard-hitting ability. We'll get into it in just a minute. But Turvold is one of the best clan boss damage dealers for single target damage in specific teams. His A2 ability, if you are worried about your speed tuning and your team's tuning, it could mess things up, especially with his increased speed. It grants an extra turn. Some teams it works. You can technically turn it off, but he's losing quite a bit of utility if you do. So he's still usable in the clan boss. I used him for a long time in my man-eater team with counterattack, and it was very fun. He's one of my coolest champions, I think. Looks so good, has awesome animations, but I think a lot of people are going for him because of his ability as a potential nuker, okay? Now, single target damage dealers usually aren't that great. There's a few exceptions. Rodos, huge exception, right? Rodos is an amazing champion. Rodos is a single target damage dealer, only single target damage, but in general, single target nukers in the arena aren't that great. Single target damage dealers in any content really are not that great compared to AoE damage, right? Most of the time. And Turvold is no exception to this. So what I want to do is show you guys something, because before you jump in and start pulling your 80 void shards, which is quite a bit, if you've been saving up, you probably get in that itch to pull them anyways. You probably haven't pulled shards for quite a while, so you probably want to pull them. Turvold is a solid champion if you need him for clan boss, but to be honest, I don't see a whole lot of extra use and a lot of reason to actually pull for him. Unless, of course, they buff him because of Ultimate Death Knight. You know, Ultimate Death Knight and Turvold, or regular Death Knight and Turvold's training. Maybe they buff Turvold. Maybe they give him an AoE ability with Death Knight or Ultimate Death Knight on the same team. Maybe they do that. But assuming they don't, I don't see any reason really to use Turvold if you have these other options. So let's compare some damage with Faceless. The reason why I'm comparing it to Faceless is because I think if you're pulling for Turvold, you may have Faceless. You may get Faceless on the way. And to be honest, I think Faceless may be a better damage dealer and actually a viable damage dealer for the arena, depending on where you're at. He's a very underrated champion, but his A3 ability, this is where it all shines, okay? Attacks one enemy, will ignore shield and block damage buffs as well as defense. He ignores everything. Shield, block damage, not unkillable, but also defense, okay? He is ignoring so much. But the gearing of these champions, actually, let's go ahead and do the comparison, and then I'll show you guys the gearing. The gearing is going to be different than my typical champ versus champ video because it doesn't make sense to gear these champions in the exact same gear, but I put pretty good gear on both of them because obviously they have very different kits. If I put the exact same stuff on each of them, it really wouldn't make sense. So we'll use the A3 from Ghostborn, give everybody decreased defense. I want to make it pretty fair for Turvold because obviously if you got Faceless ignoring everything, Turvold's going to be at a disadvantage. But let's see what the first hit does, okay? So Turvold's A3 ability, this is where everything's going to come from. We'll give him some more buffs, of course. Obviously, if we really want to maximize this, maybe we throw Bad L in a second, give Turvold some more buffs. Let Turvold really shine with his A3 ability. So his A3 hits Uros for 80,000 and then 56,000. So some quick maths over here. Let's see what 80 plus 56. We got 136,000 damage. That's a pretty good hit, right? Pretty substantial hit, I would say. Now, the decreased defense is not going to affect Faceless's damage. So this is going to be his damage no matter what, right? So Faceless does 159,000 damage. That's actually a little bit more than 136,000. I mean, assuming my math was taught correctly in school, that's a decent chunk higher. And it would have been the same whether that decreased defense was there or not. So now one big thing is if Turvold kills somebody, you're not going to need a Kymar to reset. Whereas with Faceless, you will need a Kymar if you're actually going to use them in the arena. But let's go ahead and test this out with another option, okay? So we'll throw in, we don't really need Arbiter, I don't think. Actually, let's go ahead and do it. Just because I don't want to lose my speed tune. We will throw in, instead of Ghostborn, let's do Lydia for some more buffs. Some weaken as well. And then let's maybe, instead of Arbiter, yeah, let's take Arbiter out and throw in Bad El Khazar. So Bad El Khazar is going to give us extra buffs for Turvold. He's going to give us some extra damage from his passive ability. So we should be able to see a little bit more, you know, pushed max potential from Turvold. Let's see how comparable their damage is right here. So we're placing the sleep on everybody. We're going to use the decreased defense and weaken from Lydia. We may lose speed tune here. Not a huge deal, assuming we don't get any debuffs on us. Okay, that's perfectly fine. We're going to buff everybody. They should heal pretty well, so there's no masteries proccing. Let's go ahead and buff Turvold some more. So 10 debuffs is the max you can have. 10 buffs, sorry. 10 buffs and debuffs are the max you can have. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's okay amount of buffs so far. So we have 5 buffs now. We lost one of the continuous heal because of using that extra turn from that A2 ability. We have 5 buffs. Let's go ahead and use the A3 ability, see what happens here on somebody who has decreased defense and weaken, which is an Elgaeus. So both the Elgaeuses have decreased defense and weaken. We'll attack both of those. So Turvold, 168 and 138. Okay, so 168 plus 138 is going to be 306,000 damage. That is a lot of damage for sure. Let's see what Faceless hits for. Granted, he doesn't have increased attack on him, so it's going to be a huge difference in damage because Turvold did get the increased attack. We hit for 91,000. So obviously a massive difference there. No increased attack. Turvold had a lot of buffs. So if you're running a team with a lot of buffs, maybe Turvold's going to outdamage Faceless. But honestly, Faceless in a lot of situations is going to hit like an absolute truck. He's an epic champion, relatively easy to get. He's a Void Affinity. So if you're getting Turvold, if you're wanting to use your Void Shards just for Turvold, maybe you have different options. Maybe you don't need to spend them just yet. But hey, I'm going to open my shards. I want a chance at Hedgie. I want a chance at Necrit as well if I get him. A lot of benefits for both of those. Let's go ahead and try this again, but have Arbiter, Bad El, and Faceless. Hopefully we stay speed tuned. We might not. I don't really know. We'll see though. Let's see. After this, I'll show you guys the actual builds of these champions, and we'll take them a spin in the arena. Might be a little bit weird, but hey, I'll give it a shot. Increase attack, so make it a little bit more fair. Even the playing field, just a little bit. We're going to take a little bit of a beating though. Okay, we're getting the buffs removed. Dang it. So the buffs are being removed because of, let's actually just do this. Make it simple. We'll just do Turvold test first. Have Kymar to sleep everybody. The speeds of these two champions are very, very low, like 150. And my Arbiter is very slow right now as well because she's kind of naked. A lot of my champions are naked. That's like a common theme recently. They're taking the buffs off my Turvold. Gosh dang it. All right, so what can we do here instead? We'll just use, man, this is a champion testing gone wrong. So we'll use this. No Kymar. We'll use Bad El, and we'll use Lysandra. Lysandra should help with the speed tune a little bit. She'll give us faster speed overall, and she'll reduce their turn meter. So that should be pretty nice. Let's go ahead and see. 261. She should hopefully do something. I don't know. All my champs are sitting at like 260 right now, which is kind of a strange phenomenon. All right, let's see. Reduce turn meter from everybody. The sleep from Kymar was being interrupted from Lydia's waking him up anyways. Place poisons on everyone. Okay, he gets a turn now. Do we do this buff? If we do the buff, we lose 2 continuous heal. We don't get anything extra, so we'll go ahead and just use the A3 ability. Let's see what he hits for on Elgaeus in the back here, because Elgaeus has both of the debuffs. So Faceless comparison, we'll do the exact same thing. We hit for 145 and 29,000, which was mitigated by the shield, unfortunately. But 145,000 damage on that first hit. It's going to be a little bit hard to compare Faceless, I think. Let's just assume both hits were 145. So we're looking at 145 times 2. It's going to be about 290, about 300,000 again. About the same thing as before. Let's go ahead and do the exact same thing, but with Faceless real quick for another little damage comparison. Faceless and Lysandra. Put Lysandra in the lead. Now, Faceless is sitting at like 123 speed. So he may not even get a turn, to be honest. He may just completely skip his turn, but we'll see. We shall see. After this, we'll jump into looking at the gear, and then we'll jump into the arena. The gear doesn't really matter in this comparison because it's not exact to exact. All right, so he doesn't have poison on him. I don't know if the last Elgaeus had poison. I don't think he did, so we'll just attack this one as well. Let's see what Faceless hits for. 3, 2, 1. Boom. 173,000 damage, okay? So that first hit did a lot of damage. 173,000 damage is going to kill most people, okay? Faceless is going to do the same amount of damage with or without decreased defense, okay? Keep that in mind. So let's try that again to show you guys that it's the exact same thing. No Lydia, okay? For one more comparison, one more layer of comparison, we'll actually do both the champions because we don't need Lydia in there. There's going to be no decreased defense, no weaken, nothing like that. Let's see what Turvold hits for comparatively. Obviously, most of the time, if you're doing content, you're going to have a decreased defense champion, but maybe not always, possibly, right? Majority of the time, I would assume you do, though. So we're not going to use the A2. It gives us one buff, but we lose one, so it's not going to have like really any net benefit. We're going to attack Elgias again because he has the poison, 53 and 50, so 103,000. And then Faceless attacking this Elgias for 176,000. So we did, what, 73,000 extra damage with Faceless compared to Turvold. Now, obviously, Turvold's a 1 ability. We can get back around to it, see how hard it hits. It's going to hit harder than Faceless. Faceless's A1 doesn't have anything crazy in the kit. He does have an increased crit rate on the A2. He does have an increased attack in arena battles by 21%, which is nice. Attack percent auras aren't usually used that often in the arena. Sometimes they are. The A1 ability, it's not terrible damage. We'll see what it does. One last comparison, then we'll jump into the arena and show you guys the gear. I keep saying that, I know, but I gotta keep testing stuff, you know? I gotta really show you guys what you're getting into, okay? I want to make sure you all can make the, I guess, wisest decision when it comes to pulling for Turvold or not. Like I said, I'm going to go for him. I already have him. It's just going to be a dupe for Barbarians, which will be my second set of dupes for Barbarians. But I want a chance at Hedgie and Necrit. And getting a Turvold along the way is a perfectly fine situation. So we're going to attack the Elgias again. 19 and 17. So about 40,000, a little bit less. And then Elgias hits for, or sorry, Faceless hits for 21,000. So obviously, Turvold's A1's going to hit harder than Faceless. If you're looking for a nuker in the arena, you have a Kymar reset, Faceless is going to do perfectly fine. Let me go ahead and show you guys their gear. So their gear and their masteries, they're going to be a little bit different build. So Faceless is just going for crit damage and attack. Doesn't need Savage, doesn't need Helm Smash, or nothing like that because he fully ignores defense on that A3 ability. So as far as his gear, very, very slow, good crit damage, good attack. All right, masteries, very similar things to what Turvold's going to have in a lot of ways. We have Flawless Execution, whereas Turvold has Helm Smasher. So Helm Smasher, very similar. We have a pretty similar attack, 5,100, 305 crit damage in lethal gear. So pretty stacked gear. And I'd say Faceless isn't my best gear, but he's got pretty high damage stats as well. Their base stats compared to each other, 1,300 attack. We have Turvold with 1,400. So Faceless has a little bit more attack percentage on his gear than Turvold does because their base attack is quite a bit different. And Faceless obviously came out ahead on the overall attack. So maybe his gear is a little bit better. I don't really know. Definitely Turvold's is harder to get. So as far as their defensive stats, HP is basically the same with both these champions, which is weird because Turvold's an attack-based champ or and legendary, and Faceless is an epic. Their defense, pretty big difference, but they're both going to be pretty squishy, to be honest. Let me go to the arena. We'll give it a couple test runs real quick. Let's see if we got some more manageable teams because we're not trying to compete really. All right. I don't really know if we got some options here, to be honest. Let's see. So we'll use this team's not speed tuned whatsoever. I got a 200. I got a pretty slow Kymar. I don't even know what my Siphi speed is. Is she even geared? 319. All right. There's no increased attack though in this team. Maybe we run Ghostborn instead. Kind of have to. We need the increased attack and the decreased defense. Let's see how this goes. Kymar's gonna be nice for the sleep. We have increased defense from Siphi, which we don't really need for this team, to be honest. Everybody's going to get slept. This is unfortunate. This is a pretty bad situation, guys. So Arena may be kind of weird. I don't have an actual team built for them. My Arbiter is slow right now. Let me see if I can maybe throw a few pieces of gear on her. Okay, we got a shield and chest plate real quick to make this team actually somewhat make sense, I guess. But my Kymar's not tuned with them, so it may not even be a good comparison at all. I got a triple roll shield right here. So we'll throw that on. I usually have these videos a little bit better planned out. This one's not great. So 312. Man, this is a slow Arbiter. This is why I don't build speed teams, honestly. All my teams are just slow teams. Go second teams. That's what I like. So this team, right, this 25 is pretty decent. Booster up to 337. Maybe I can outspeed this team. I don't really know. Actually, yeah, I should be able to outspeed this team. We'll try it. As long as we can boost into Kymar, we should be fine. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Okay, there we go. We cut in. Kymar, there we go. Perfect. Let's see. They should get some turns. Perfect. Decreased defense. And then, wait. Okay, we got weak hit. Rip. All right, so we'll let Turvold smack. It's not going to matter. He's going to kill literally anybody. We'll let him kill Kymar first. Boom. 59,000. Okay, it's going to kill him. Pretty simple. 59,000 damage, though, is not going to kill those big duchesses. You will have to bring your typical decreased defense, increased attack, everything like that. Let me go see if I can find a tankier team. An actual better setup for this team. Better example. Some of these slow teams we could maybe do. Let's see right here. Actually, this might be a decent test. Let's see. I will use main tank Buster, and we'll actually just swap out Ray for Turvold, and I may get a turn. It may be perfectly fine because Necrit's going to be protecting Turvold anyways. We need that protection. Plus, we get those extra buffs from Necrit. We have the bolster set, so all this may work out for the best. Now, the accuracy is going to do nothing for either of these champions, right? Remove everything. Necrit's gonna, let's see what his A1 does, okay? Turvold's A1 hits for 29,000 and 31,000. That's pretty legit. Definitely a pretty legit hit. Let's see if we can just kill Necrit. Straight up kill him. 99 and 121. So, I mean, yeah. He's a wrecking ball. He's a human wrecking ball for sure. All right, so he's dead. Obviously, he's pretty squishy as well. Let's go ahead and bring Faceless into the same team. See what he does. Maybe Turvold is even better than I thought he was. I mean, maybe he actually is better than Faceless. We'll see what his A1. So the A1 on Faceless, I don't expect it to hit very hard, but I guess we'll see in just a few seconds. Because he doesn't have Helm Smasher. The A1 doesn't ignore defense. I do think Faceless is going to be much better with a Kymar, whereas Turvold, I think, could be used without a Kymar with pretty decent success. Let's see if we kill the Mithrala here. Okay, so Turvold killed the Mithrala. Faceless did not kill the Mithrala. Let's see if we... And I do think we can kill the Duchess there. That's actually probably a decent test for the Turvold, is to see if he could one-shot the Duchess. I do think Faceless can. Let's see. Okay, 48,000. So maybe Turvold just smacked quite a bit harder. 48,000. Granted, she did have increased defense, which Faceless ignores the defense. So 41,000. Let me see what Turvold hits for on the Duchess. Because before, I was a little bit scared because the Necrit was protecting. Let's see. Let's see how Turvold does versus the Duchess. Hopefully we remove the Stone Skin. It's going to be weird if we don't. This guy's going to see a lot of wins on his defense. All right. Turvold counterattacking. Hits like a truck. I love it. All right, so we're going to kill the... Honestly, let's see if we can kill a Kandrifon. Okay, got unkillable, but we almost killed him. Got pretty close, actually, to be honest. Pretty surprised. Okay, counterattacked on the Mithrala. Definitely doing some work there. Pretty hard single target hitting, definitely. Let's see if we kill the Duchess. I'll be impressed. I will be impressed if we kill the Duchess. Okay, the Duchess is just tanky. 25,000 and 19,000, so basically the same as Faceless did. Basically nothing, okay? They basically did not do enough damage at all. Though the A1 of Turvold is very solid. So with no Kymar, I think Turvold could be a pretty solid option. If you just need a good single target damage dealer, maybe even against some Warlords, because A1 ability in Turvold won't get locked out. We'll use this. Let's see if we kill the Duchess this time. Okay, 66,000. So he is working through people. Better than what I expected. Survivability, not as good as a champion like Kandrifon. So Kandrifon's going to be better as far as survivability. But as far as taking care of the enemies, he's doing pretty decent, actually. He's going to die. I could obviously put, like, reaction stuff on him. But as a single target champion, I mean, there it is, guys. You can see the comparison between Faceless and Turvold. Turvold's going to be, in general, honestly, both these champions outside. Turvold has uses in Clan Boss, big uses in Clan Boss. He's a great Clan Boss champion for specific teams. He's very good and leads to some of the highest damage dealing Clan Boss teams out there, especially unkillable, full auto teams. But as far as an arena champion, as far as using him in a lot of different places, mine's been in the vault forever. So maybe I bring him out. I kind of doubt it. I just have a lot better options. Single target nukers just tend to be a struggle to actually get use out of. But because they're single target, where you have champions like Kandrifon, champions like Leoris, champions like Ray, there's AoE damage, and still instead of killing one person, you're killing everybody. So maybe against Warlord teams, champions like Turvold could really shine. Turvold and Kandrifon. Let me see. Let me give this a test, okay? We'll do this Warlord Who team, and we'll try it out. You know, we'll give it a shot. So let's put Necrit in there just because we need our Turvold to be protected, 100%. Put some of that. Let's see if he can work through the people. So my Cardiel does have high resistance. This video is getting a little bit longer than I expected, but I want to make sure you guys have a good comparison, especially, like I said, if you plan on going for Turvold or you're considering it, I want to make sure you guys have a good comparison. All right, so we're going to use the A3 ability. Let's see if he kills Duchess. That's a lot of buffs. That is a lot of buffs. Wow. How many buffs did he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 buffs. Almost killed the Duchess. Not quite. He did better than Candrafon would do because he would just weak hit. But yeah, that's a lot of buffs. Wow. We get one more. That's 10 buffs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The most buffs you can have. I'm actually kind of impressed we got 10 buffs up. Let's see what happens here. Can he work her down now? All right, so maybe we just work down Warlord. Okay, so Duchess is gonna be more tanky. I would think we could kill Warlord. I would hope we could. We have increased attack, increased crit damage, increased crit rate. We're hitting as hard as we can without decreased defense, right? Didn't kill him. He didn't have decreased defense or increased defense on him. So in that situation, I definitely would have expected Turvold to be able to kill the Warlord. I mean, we have all the buffs we would need. We have 10 buffs. He doesn't have decreased defense. Obviously, Faceless would do nothing because he needs his A3 ability, and it's on cooldown, so it would do nothing at all. But there we go, guys. There's my opinion, my feedback, my sharing of Turvold versus Faceless. As far as utility, I think Turvold's going to win out. But if you just need a solid, hard-hitting damage dealer just for Arena, maybe consider just building Faceless. If you don't have Turvold and you don't have the Void Shards and you don't want to spend the money, Faceless is a very solid option. Gala Longbraids is actually another very solid option, but I didn't even talk about her. Maybe I should talk about her in another video. She's an awesome champion. Hard-hitting A3 ability, very hard-hitting A2 ability, good A1 ability, cycles through everything very quickly. She is one of the best epic single-target nukers, period. So guys, hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.